Thanks for tuning in today for our episode of Becky So Inspired, coming to you from Becky's Sewing Center in Tazewell, Tennessee. And today we are going to be cutting out a pumpkin on our Brothers Scan and Cut, and we're using model 650W.
Okay guys, so first we're going to go to our patterns. We're going to go to the collection of our holidays. So we're going to go down here to our pumpkins. And then we're going to hit the first pumpkin on the second page. We're going to take that at a 4.5 on our height. And then we're going to hit OK. So because I'm using glitter for my orange, and then I'm going to be using fashion film for my other two, I'm going to cut out my orange first. So I'm going to hit my pumpkin, hit OK, and set. So now I need to scan in my mat. And as you can tell here, I have my glitter here, my black here, and these two are fashion film. And this is my glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and load that in. Okay, and then I'm going to scan it.
And in case any of you are wondering, we're holding this down with embroidery perfection tape made by Floriani.
Okay, so now I can see where my area is that I can work with. And then I'm going to scoot it over to that area and hit add. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to add a box around it so I can save as much vinyl as possible. I'm going to change that because I know I'm working with a 4.5 inch pumpkin. I'm going to change that to about a 4.65 or 6.4. And then I'm going to set it. Now I'm going to make sure that that's going around my pumpkin and it's not going to touch anywhere that that pumpkin is going to be. Okay, so now I'm going to add a test. And that's going to tell me if my blade depth is in the correct adjustment. I'm going to add that over to the corner. And then I'm going to hit OK. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out my test. Okay. So now I'm going to unload my mat. And I'm going to weed it. And see if it went all the way through. Okay, so it went through the first layer, but I still have my protective sheet underneath it, so that's perfect. And I have my blade depth at a 2.25. It may be different for other cutters. Okay, so I'm going to hit start, and it's just going to continue cutting out my pumpkin.
I also want you guys to note that it had the option for us to quit cutting. Just in case our test did not go through correctly, it would have allowed us to take the time to adjust our blade depth, and we would have been able to move our test into a new position.
Also, when we have the box around it, it's going to allow you to save more vinyl, and it's going to be easier to weed. On our other two pieces, later on, we will not be adding a box around it because of our pieces are so small that we're not going to be able to save much vinyl anyway. But for this video, we wanted to show you that it is best to go ahead and put a box around it. So I'm going to hit OK when it's finished cutting, and then I'm going to unload my mat. So I'm going to go ahead and weed out the eye. And get rid of anything that I do not want. Okay, so now we have a box around it, and we're going to pull that box away. And if it starts to pull up your pattern, you can lay that back down because the glitter doesn't stick to itself, so you're not going to have any issues with that. Okay, so now there's the first part of our pumpkin, and now we're going to go ahead and cut out the other pieces. So we're going to load our mat back in, and now we're going to go back, and then we're going to hit our home button and delete that. So now we're going to go back into patterns, go back into our collections, and pull up our pumpkin again. Now we have this set on a 4.5. And it's best to use a number that you can remember or write it down so that you remember if you have multiple different types of vinyl where you're at. So we're going to hit OK. And so now I'm going to pull up my black and then I'm going to set it. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my green, and I'm going to do both of these at the same time. So now I have both of these in my grid, and I'm going to go ahead and scan in my mat. Okay, and it's only making that sound because this is only putting pressure onto the sticky part, so it's nothing to worry about. I'm going to stick this down into my black area, and then I'm going to stick my little stem in my green area. And then I'm going to add a test. And because I know both of these are the same, I'm going to hit set, and I'm only going to put it into one of them. Okay, and I've done this before, so it's about a 1.75, but we are still going to test it because it can always change. So we're going to hit OK, and we're going to go ahead and test that. Alright, so that is perfect. So we're going to hit start and go ahead and let it cut out that. Alright, so now we're going to hit OK and unload it. And then I do want to keep the inside of this, so I'd weed everything outside of it. You can pull this off your mat when you're weeding it if you would like. That's up to preference. If you already done your test and you know for sure that it's okay, you can pull it off the mat, but if not, then keep it on your mat for as long as possible. Now I am working with a little bit of a bigger piece, which is why it's giving me a little bit of issue.
And this is just another reason that you should always add a box.
Yes. We wanted to show you both ways.
Box is always, we have found that the box is easier.
Yes.
But when it's all said and done, there you go.
This is that piece. Now we're going to pull off our pumpkin. And we're also going to do another video on how to layer these on top of each other. So be watchful for that. And then we're going to pull off our green. I'm going to take this little tape off.
And the tape that we're using, guys, is really sticky, so we reuse it a lot.
Alright. Okay, so now there is our little stem, and this, once we layer it, is going to be going behind it to give the jack-o'-lantern effect, and then we're going to put the stem on, and that's going to be in a different video, and we'll show you how to put all those together.
Using a heat press.
Yes.
Okay, guys, so thanks so much for turning into our channel today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our stuff, and let us know in the comments below if there's anything else you would like to see or if there was anything we forgot. Also, we're on Facebook and Instagram under Beckie Sewing Center, so if you'd like, we'd appreciate it if you'd follow us. And as always, stay sew inspired.